afternoon. I think we are live. Katy, Rundle.
I think so, Elisa.
Good afternoon to our guests and viewers for a new episode of Offers for Artists. So we are going to have a double interview between me, Elisa Colangeli from Italy, and Katy Rundle from the UK. This is a series of interviews that the Bloomz are holding here on our Bloomz page in order to promote also our second art show, which will take place on the 29th and 30th of January, and also to allow people to get to know us a little better before the show. First, a small introduction about me, and I will let Katy speak afterwards. I am Elisa Colangeli. I am 40 years old and I'm from Italy. Hi, girls. Someone is already joining in. I am a figurative artist, so I mainly paint figures and portraits in acrylics and oils and charcoal as well. And I am so happy to be a part of the Bloomz because I am relatively new to this artsy world, and it's great to progress and learn a lot of new things in a good company, and I'm learning so much from my friends because they are my friends now. Katy, please introduce yourself. I see her blocked. Katy, can you hear me? She probably can't see me or can hear me. I don't know. I'm checking.
I can't hear you. Sorry, Elisa, at the moment.
Oh, you can hear me?
It's breaking up a bit.
I can listen to you. I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you even if I see you like frozen. Stephanie, what should we do?
Am I frozen to you?
Yeah, I think you are frozen for all the viewers.
Oh, sorry.
What shall we do? I'm asking
why don't you talk about yourself for a bit and hopefully I'll come back.
Yes, we can hear Katy. I don't know if it's better that we just interrupt the live and start again. I'm just checking a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you are still frozen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but because I can hear you well.
I can see you, but it's just the sound is affected.
I think I'm going to interrupt this live and start again because
you're nice and clear now.
Okay, I see you. Yeah, you're not frozen anymore. Please, Katy, introduce yourself and let's go ahead. Okay.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm Katy Rundle. I'm a textile artist. The art that you can see behind me, I make it out of pieces of fabric. So I've got a few of my lovely stash of designs here. So I cut out pieces from my fabrics and I build up collages of, again, I'm a figurative artist. And most of my work is inspired by nature. But once I've built up my collages, I then embroider into them with free machine embroidery. So that's how I build up the images you can see.
Yeah, it's very original, and really the first question that I would like to ask you is how you start making art? So you start practicing as a traditional artist, so painting and drawing, and if so, how did you move to this really innovative painting without paint? Because the amazing thing of Katy's works is that all the values and all the really subtle changes of color are obtained by superposing and cutting pieces of fabric instead of mixing colors and layering paints. So I think that it would be great to know more about this.
Okay. Well, art was a hobby, really. Obvious, like a lot of artists, I always wanted to do art full time, but only really had the opportunity to do that in the last maybe 6 years. Is it that long? No, not really. More like 4 or 5 years at the most. 4 years. I'm not very good at counting. But yeah, before then, I took occasional evening classes in life drawing and painting, but it was very much I dipped in and out of art, and I had a full career in the NHS, much like Elisa, who's got her own career outside of art as well. But it was an opportunity to go and live in Kenya that allowed me to have a natural break away from my career in the NHS as a nurse, and when I came back, I started learning how to use a sewing machine and making these pictures, this art in a different way. I met an amazing textile artist while I was living in Kenya, and she was my first real inspiration for this kind of work. But at that time, I didn't sew and I didn't use fabrics. And when I came back, I learned how to do quilts and learned how to do applique work, and it was just through a school exhibition, a fundraiser. I just thought I'm going to have a go at making a piece of art using these skills, and did my first sort of collage textile art piece, and was commissioned by a few of the other parents, and that's where it all started really. I just thought maybe my dream of being an artist can really begin now, and so that's where it started, which was 2016. So it'll be 5 years sort of coming up. Yeah.
And how your mind shifted from thinking that art is just an expensive hobby to realizing that can be not only an hobby but also a real job, because one of the main misunderstandings about art is that of course that making art is always easy and joyful. That should be, but not always is like that. Even if you think about art blocks, for example, but there's a moment when you feel inside that, okay, I'm ready to call myself as a real artist and not like an hobbyist. Can
Yes.
you remember that moment? Is there a precise moment?
Yeah, well, I think the moment where I got several commissions was where I thought maybe I can be an artist, and over the months that I was doing those commissions, I was sort of daring myself to say, I'm Katy and I'm an artist. And it was I think almost another year before I actually let my registration as a nurse, my professional registration, which allowed me to practice as a nurse, I allowed that to go, because I thought I can't make this leap. And well, I could sort of make the leap into being a full-time artist, but it was always in the back of my mind that actually I could be earning money going back to my previous profession.
Of course.
And so once it was really nerve-wracking, but to let my registration go as a nurse meant for me that I had to make the art work. So it was a way of putting pressure on myself, in a way, just to start thinking about how can I make being an artist be a proper living, a proper business. And that's something that I'm learning about all the time. And obviously that was how we came to meet each other, and the group, the Bloomz, came together, was where we're all trying to learn those skills of how we market ourselves and the art that we make, and how we can make what we love a living for ourselves. So yeah, it was that first art, the first time I exhibited. I was just really lucky that the piece of art I did was very much about the school and the experience of it, driving up to the school, and it connected with a few people who then all asked me to make things for them. And so, and like you say, it's not a common way of making art. So to make art with lots of pieces of fabric, yeah, it was good talking point, and that's how it all started.
I think you were very brave, like every person that really, I would say, not neglecting the past, because the past is really what shapes us and and what allowed us to be like we are today, but viewing a different perspective for the future, which requires a lot of courage. So my congratulations for you.
Yes, it does. And also I am lucky that I'm married and my husband has a good income. So, it's not that fearful in a way, I'm not that brave, I don't think. But yeah, it is a leap. It is a leap to move away from what is a secure income to then trying to make this work. But it's a life dream, and you have to, I think, following your passions and your dreams, that's what living's all about, isn't it? So go for it,
Yeah.
and enjoy it, find the joy. And I couldn't be happier being an artist. I absolutely love what I do.
And your joy is really visible and in your painted not painted works. Yes, in your textile work is really tangible, I think.
Thank you.
And so your inspiration comes from nature, and you admitted that your traveling to Africa changed really your relationship with nature. And really, I invite all the guests to visit your LinkedIn profile, because if I'm right, there are some pictures from your African time. I think I saw a couple of posts about that.
Yeah, so I'm not that active on LinkedIn as yet. It's sort of on my list of things to do. I'm more active on Instagram and Facebook still, but yeah, LinkedIn, I do have a presence there, but it's I have to say I've neglected it a bit recently. It's something I need to get involved with a bit more and start doing more blog posts.
Oh, yeah. But if someone is curious and wants to know something about your really connection to nature, how would you describe it? Are you do you usually go out for walks, and you like, for example, taking photographs to animals, to landscapes? So where is the starting point for your textile works?
Yeah, I think all of those things really. I mean, living in Kenya, in Africa for a while was amazing, and you just live in the moment. And I think that's what it really is with connection with nature, is being in the moment. I have a dog, so I walk twice a day often, and just noticing the small things, and all of those things. So the piece behind me, the trees, that's very much sort of inspired by sort of dog walks in forests. I don't know if I can reach it.
Yeah.
Without knocking everything down. So if I bring it a bit nearer. But this is inspired by birch trees on a sort of a winter's day. Oh, something's falling. Never mind. And I don't know if you can see that it is made up of the layers of the fabric and the stitching there.
It's beautiful. Also,
so I suppose a lot of the pieces do take me back to a specific time, a specific memory, and the pieces from Kenya are definitely, they're from photographs of specific memories of those experiences, seeing those animals, or connection with nature is sort of a daily experience, being out and about.
Yes, it's a point of our daily joy, I think.
Mm.
And we are lucky because we can take advantage from that in everything we do.
Yeah.
Mm, another question I would like to ask to you is, what about fabrics? You know, I am really impressed and I am mesmerized by the wonderful fabrics that you use
Yeah.
for your pieces. And do you choose them from catalogs, for example, or maybe now that we are in this COVID stuff that really prevents us from going everywhere? Or do you prefer going to shops? Have you got any references for this?
Yeah. I buy most nowadays online, and
Mm,
a lot of them are by the same design group, the K Facet Collective, which is K Facet and Philip Jacobs and Brandon Mabley, and they all design together, which means that their color palettes are complementary.
mm,
They're massively popular fabrics in the quilting
mhm,
world. So my fabrics are the very fine cottons that are used in quilts. Um, and there are lots of websites where you can sell them, where you can buy them. Cotton Patch is a website that I use a lot. It has huge range of fabrics on it. Um, but you know, I love going to shops when I'm allowed to, and actually, you know, see the fabrics and the design, because it's sometimes difficult when you're looking at something on a website to get the real idea of the
yeah.
scale of the design in it. So, you know, I've used this sort of swirly design fabric quite a lot in different colorways. That's the other great thing about the K Facet Collective, is that they when you really love a design, they often produce it in different colorways. Um, so I might have several pieces of a similar fabric, but in different colorways. So this one's really muted, but
Mhm.
a lot of my fabrics are really, really bright ones. I love using this leaf design. But I do have other fabrics as well that I might pick up from passing a shop and looking at, just seeing what's available.
Of
My,
course.
my family will often get hold of my coat if they see a fabric shop coming up, going, no, come back, because I disappear into the
No,
shop
we're going
for
to
hours.
use a whole day in this.
Yeah, yeah. But yes, it's addictive. But fortunately, they do sell fabrics in quite small pieces. A lot of shops. So I buy just a quarter of a meter at a time. Otherwise, I'd have to have a warehouse for them all.
And how do you store them? You have plenty of space or in boxes? How do you manage this?
I have it's like a chest of drawers, where I try and
Mm.
color code them into drawers, so they're all sort of stacked up against each other, um, in a drawer, so that when I look, I can just sort of see the tops of fabrics like that, and then I just sort of flick
Mhm.
through them to. And obviously, I'm aware of what patterns I have and colors, and when I'm planning out a piece, I'll be looking at the scale of the pattern and the color, like you say, the values as well. And it's, you know, there are some fabrics that I use over and over, like this scrappy piece I've got here. I use this in nearly every animal portrait I do. Part of these one of these little circles will end up in the eye of
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
animal. So yeah, if I show you the horse's eye, you might be able to see. Oh, which way? That way. You
And
can
this is
see there's just,
boogie.
yeah, you can see there's a little piece of fabric which is like, I don't know if it's maybe that, oops, keep going in the wrong way, but maybe it might be a little piece from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's magical. It's magical that you can really reproduce the features, the anatomical features of animals, starting from a pattern on a piece of fabric. I think that it requires a great knowledge of color theory as well, because what is the basically the risk of working with a wide range of opportunities, because every fabric is an opportunity that you make mess
Yeah.
And if you can't say stop at the right time, you have no balance. And I see, on the other hand, that you have really you master this technique, because there's perfect balance of shapes and patterns and values in all of your pieces. So really,
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I think it's time to talk about your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
you, Elisa. Yeah. So I know a bit about you, obviously, and that art hasn't been a full-time occupation for you. But can you tell us a bit about where it comes from and what it means to you to be an artist?
Before I answer, I think I'm afraid that you are frozen again, but I want to be optimistic, and I will keep on answering your question in the meanwhile. So yeah, I'm in real life or in my everyday life, I am an engineer. I am an environmental engineer, and I manage smelly stuff like waste management and wastewater treatment. So something very far from art and beauty. I think that this this new opportunity to me also means that I found a piece of myself that I had lost, because technical work can be stimulating, because really I do my main job with a lot of passion, and for me it's like a way to change and improve the world, because I really fight against pollution, basically. But at the same time, I used to love literature and poetry and art, and all these things were pulled apart, and I really needed to come back to them and do something for myself. And that's why 2 years ago, more or less, I decided to start taking online classes, because where I am in a small town in central Italy. We have not so many opportunities to get in touch with a club of artists, and also because I have 2 children who are young, and I can't go away from home during the afternoon, because I don't know who to leave them to. And so online classes were a good compromise to me, to start learning how to draw a face, basically. And so starting from an oval shape and 2 lines in the middle of a face, I really tried to understand the first basics of drawing and portraiture, and I didn't stop. So yes, I'm an artist, and I am really proud because I can call myself like that. I don't know if I will ever be so brave like you to leave my first job. It's too early to think about.
But you are going from strength to strength.
Yeah,
I think your work is amazing. I absolutely love your portraits. You were saying that they're about expressing yourself, and I wonder, when I look at them, how much of them is about I mean, they always convey such emotion, your portraits. And talking about books and literature, your writing is as beautiful as your painting, and it's incredible to read the stories behind the work that you do. I've got loads of questions, but one of the questions I have is: Are your portraits all of a specific? Are they inspired by a photograph, or are they inspired by the emotion? How does it work? How do they evolve?
I think that we can say a mix, because it's quite hard to me to find a connection with a reference photo. At the moment, I don't work from life. Also because I have no models but myself and my children. And I started to study on photographs taken by others. And it's hard to me to find a connection with a picture because I tend to be selective, you know. It's not always a good thing, but it's like that. I can change myself. So I am really involved by a few of them. And when I find a reference that speaks to me and expresses to me something, I then add more and more to that basic idea. And try to convey a message. And really, I think that the story was not it's not born before the painting, but they progress in a parallel way. And the ideal closure of the process is when I really write those few lines that usually describe a piece of mine. And when I, type the first dot in the end of the last sentence, it's like, then, okay, I've said all about it, and I have no more to add, no more things to add about that. Yes, so
but the words are important too. Yeah. But the words are important to you as well, as much as the image, no?
Yeah, they are, and they are so important that I decided to give to my buyers and commissioners, together with the piece that they collect, also a handwritten letter where I really add the very original story of the piece. Really, I don't want them to be forced to have the interpretation I give to the pieces. But if I can offer some suggestions, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think that words are one of the most powerful weapons we can have, in a positive both and negative sense. And I want my words to be positive and to be really carriers of joy and emotion, because we tend to be analytical and practical and maybe pragmatic, and we forget that we are mind, soul, and art. So
yes, beautiful. Yeah.
If we look inside ourselves, we have so many things to say and so much to be grateful for.
Yes.
And that's one of my purposes, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And I one of the simple question, I don't know if it's obvious really, but you only really do portraits of women? And
this is something that was not planned at all. It happened that all the online classes were about women, maybe because they are more attractive, I don't know. Yes. Young women especially more attractive than a bearded one,
Yes.
But I follow this way and this path and this a process of learning, and I embraced it because I said to myself, I am a woman, so it's like mirroring myself in someone else's face.
Exactly.
It's not that.
I do wonder, when I look at your work, how much of it is like self-portraiture, although obviously there's not necessarily a physical likeness.
Yeah, of course.
It's about expressing you.
Yeah, and I can see myself with wrinkles, not yet, even if they're starting to appear. But I can connect with certain types of references, as I was telling before. But the main reason I paint women is that I am a woman, and I know how difficult it is being a woman today, because we are so many labels upon us. You know, I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a professional, I am whatever. I am so many things, but I can't remember who I really am, because I am focusing just on the labels that someone else has put on me, and it's not good. And I really think that we should embrace ourselves more and be grateful for what we have. And you know, painting a female portrait becomes for me like an icon, you know. It's not the person in itself, but it's the meaning that I give to the image. So the icon of a certain emotion, and it's something universal that transcends really the specific person. You know, you can recognize yourself as someone else because it's an icon, it's a paradigm of something which is bigger than us.
But
it makes philosophical. I'm sorry.
No, it makes perfect sense, and it really everything you say makes sense as far as your art really is about expressing you as a woman. And so why would you paint anything other than women? And you express the emotions so clearly and so eloquently in your art. It's they're a joy to see. When I look at your website, I think most of your work there is in charcoal, isn't it? But now you're working more with painting. Can you show us what you're doing currently, some of your work?
Of course. I started as a charcoal drawer because charcoal seemed to me the most basic of all the media, and it was forgiving, so that I could wrap it and start from the beginning without thinking about, okay, I made a mistake and I will never be able to do something good, which is a good state of mind. But at the beginning, it was like that. I can't deny. At the moment, I had many phases. So from charcoal to monochrome in acrylics and oils, and now experimenting colors, you know, like a roller coaster. And beside me, maybe you can see a large piece I'm working on, which is really in progress. And I try to, sorry.
Okay.
I try to go huge, to go big.
Yes, wonderful.
Quite a big portrait, which will be presented on the Bloomz show at the end of the month. And this is 50 by 70 centimeters. It's quite unusual for me because I used to do smaller sizes, but I wanted to try to experiment what's my impression on working on huge dimensions, even if I am still using paints to do some smaller pieces. You know, it depends on my mood.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, I look forward to seeing all of those. They look amazing. So shall we talk a bit about the Bloomz event that's up and coming? And
please introduce it.
So you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the 29th and 30th of January. There's going to be 11 of us artists, we think.
11 of us, and from all over the world, UK, like you and so many others, and Australia, Canada, and Italy. So it will be like a melting pot of art and culture as well, because everybody of us really can express influences of culture and living in a certain place in the art that we produce. And you will find textile art such as Katy Rundle's one, and also we have got, for example, Stephanie Lester's, who makes 3D sculptures with wool, so needle felting technique. and we have great watercolor artists such Cindy Porter and John Kennedy. And from Canada, we have Renee Roscoe Shelton and Anne-Marie Chang, who is a spiritual artist. So who I'm forgetting? Landscape painting.
Abstract art as well.
As well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy Exerandu, who is an abstract painter, and Fiona Hooper, who paints in oils, and you will be able to see her beautiful landscape.
An Angel.
Oh, Angel, of course, who really is a so original artist, and she started from painting and representing art history on her face, and she will be able to show you very original pieces and about her connection with nature. And who else? I don't want to forget anybody.
I know. I'm not sure. But you keep thinking. But shall I talk about why it's different to other art shows? So
yeah.
This is our second art show online, and it's an event you need to register for. But what makes it different to other art shows that are online is that each of the artists is there in person as well. So you can speak to us if you want to. We will have some work with us to show you and talk to you, answer any questions. If you're someone who doesn't like to talk, who finds that kind of live setting a bit intimidating, you don't have to talk at all. You can come and just watch. We will each of us will be available to see separately within rooms within the virtual event. And when you join a room, you'll be able to watch a show reel of our work. But as I say, we're there in person as well to speak and talk to visitors as they wish, or not if they wish. And you just need to register for a ticket on our website, which is www.thebloomz.co.uk. Bloomz being BLOOMZ. And it's a really fun way of looking at art, meeting the artists, learning a bit about what we all do. And we're all down to earth, chatty people, and there's nothing intimidating about us or the event. And we would love to see you if you'd like to visit us.
Yeah. One of us is also an expert of encaustics, so she uses beeswax to paint, and also I think that this is a topic that would be of deep interest for our audience. And really, I invite you to join us on this art show, because we are really trying to bring art to people without intermediation. And I want to focus on this aspect because it's a real paradox if we think that art is for a few people. You don't have to have a degree in a history of art to appreciate an art piece. You have all the knowledge inside yourself to see if you find a connection with a piece or not, if you like it or not, if it suits you or not. So it's a unique place where to get in touch with art and start, of course, taking news, for example, and information, but really to spend a different afternoon instead of at Netflix or Amazon Prime series. Please come and join us to the Bloomz Art Show. And I think that you will have the same fun and the same joy, and you will feel rich inside, and it's a unique experience, really.
Yeah, with it, like you say, so such a wide range of artists, from using beeswax to charcoal to fabric to wool to watercolor, or every medium it seems to be covered, and different styles are all covered. There's something for everyone. You're going to like something. And
Really,
we
it's
would love
like
to meet you.
traveling all around the world in a single afternoon, which is amazing because art has no boundaries, and so the human beings, we are all free and all free to see and all free to learn. I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. So I think that's all for now.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, everybody who joined us during the live session, for supporting us, all our group. And really, I want to thank in advance everybody who will be watching this interview in the future. And I hope to see you all in our show on 29th and 30th January. So thank you, Katy Rundle, for being here.
Thank you, Elisa.
And hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.